I have a job to build a website for a client. So to quickly build this website, I'm going to come over here to Divi and then go straight to the dashboard, because over here I can use my Divi quick sites. So I'm going to come over here and generate a site. I'm going to say select a website template, and I've got quite a few to choose from. So my client has a law firm, so I'm going to come over here and choose start with law firm. All right, so I'm just going to call this Mac Law for now. And then I'm going to exclude the shop and then say generate and publish my website. So this is going to go ahead and build my website quickly. It's going to import all the pages that I need. And then all I have to do now is to go in and make sure that this website is ready for production. All right, so it looks like my website has been installed. So I'm going to go quickly and say view my site. And sure enough, we have this beautiful website. Okay, everything looks great. Now, the question is this website ready for production? Can I really go in and make a few changes to this and provide this to my client? Well, there's only one way to find out. I am going to scan and check the design health of this website using my brand new tool called Krafter Pro. So I'm going to come over here and head over to Krafter Pro into my dashboard. So this is where I am going to do an audit, and I'm also going to do a full scan of the website. So I'm going to go ahead and say scan website. Right, so it looks like we have a very serious problem. Our website has not passed at all. So this is very troubling, but let me just take a look and see what the issues are. So I can see I have issues with typography, color system, semantic tokens, accessibility. So I have quite a lot going on here. So what I'm going to do now is to try and modernize this website and make sure that it's using the latest standards for building websites. And this is using a design system. Nowadays, designing a website without a design system is disastrous. So I'm going to go ahead now and click on modernize. In fact, I can even click here to modernize the website. So this is going to let me know where the problems are and how I can fix them. Now, you see, Krafter Pro tells me where the problems are. For example, on this home page, I know I have 83 upgrades that I need to do. I have on the contact page, service, about, so it scans the whole website. So these pages here correspond to the pages that I have over here. So let's see how we can fix all our problems. So I'm going to start off with the home page here. So I'm going to say show. So I want to see where the issues are. So for example, here we have home heading. Okay, primary color here was used, but we need to use the one in the what? In the variables. So that failed. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So over here, I have an issue with my heading color as well. So these are some of the things that I can fix in the builder, or I can fix here. Over here, we also have a hard-coded color, which is white, but it needs to have a system design color here. Okay, so I'm going to say apply to 3 because this is on 3 items. So slowly, I'm going to go in and start fixing my website. So you can see my score here is going to go higher and higher. Over here, you see we have a spacing padding bottom, and we can see it by taking a look here. All right, and this is on our homepage, by the way. So we have a hard-coded 80 pixels. So we should not be using 80 pixels or pixels for our spacing, because when we go to the other mobile views, then we have to go in and add manual values, which is very hard to maintain. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say fix, and then we're going to use our variable here. Okay, so that's fixed. So we're going to continue on. So next we have 60 pixels here, and this is padding as well. So I'm going to say apply to all 4. And as I'm applying this, we are making a lot of changes here to our design. I'm going to check again here. We have this one here, padding top. So as you can see, my spacing scale is all being updated, and it's also updating all my padding. It's updating pretty much everything. So as I'm going through this, I am hoping to increase my score. Hopefully it's going to get close to 100. And remember, this is happening on all pages. But I want to show you something very interesting here. Do you see where it says 16 pixels here? That means that our body font size is set to 16 pixels instead of a variable over here, right? So I'm going to automatically update this in our Crafter Pro interface. So when I am done with this, I can always go and take a look at this page, and let's see if if we can pinpoint some of the areas where the change has been done. So I'm going to say edit with Divi, and then I'm going to go in and look for example, here. There we go. You see that? My preset was assigned. Isn't that amazing? So the goal now is to have all these areas of our website all updated. So we have our heading here. You can see the padding was added to the bottom, and this is a variable. Then to prove to you that it's a variable, there we go. It's got a clamp value. So this is how you modernize your website from Crafter Pro. So this is actually really fun to do, and you can continue on and add, your top padding here. We also have a spacing, which was entered as 10% over here. So you can fix that. Now, do you see where it says modernize all approximately 4 minutes and 3 seconds? So if we were to go in and quickly do all this, right? What you'll find is you will have updated your website and made it modern in less than 10 minutes. But if you had to go and do this manually, you would have to go in and say, okay, here's our about us. Let me take a look. How can I fix this? You go in, you go to your heading text, and then if you don't have any variables, you'd have to go in and manually create your variables. But in this case, I can go in and say, okay, this is heading 2. I can come over here and look for KH2. Boom. Okay, so that's now my size for my heading 2. I can continue on, look for other areas. So this one here is heading 2 as well. I can go in, set this to heading 2. But if I want the size slightly bigger, I'll leave it here on heading 2 because this is what's read by the SEO bots. So I can always change the size. Perhaps I want it slightly bigger. I can choose the H1 size like that. Continue on and let's have a look at this. Okay, so this is set to K-text body already, and so is this, which is fantastic. So I'm going to continue on, and then if I come over here, I'll need to do the same thing. I would come over here, set this to H1, and then finally I can save. So when I save here and I go back, all the changes that I've done there, if I rescan my site or I refresh, we should see a slight improvement on our score. But right now the score is quite low because we have a lot to change. So far, I was able to just do a few changes on the homepage. So I have to move on to the other pages. So for example, on the contact page here, I have a lot of problems. I can see here my white color here was hard coded. It needs to be set to a system design color. I can say apply to the 2 areas where that exists. And this is slowly, again, we have a top padding, large, I can apply here. And this is following our design system. So how this works is Crafter Pro comes with a design system, which has all your variables set, and it also has all your preset sets. And it is now estimating the size according to our design system. So in the end, we're going to have a website that's going to have all your clamp values, and it's also going to have a proper spacing system. And this is going to make your website fast, easy to maintain, and it's also going to make your website look very, very professional and responsive, because once you have your clamp values, your website is going to be responsive. Now, I want you to take a moment and think about what is happening here. A lot of people have websites that were designed in Divi 4. What is going to happen when the support for Divi 4 is going to stop? That means you would have to go through this process manually, because when the support stops, that means if something goes wrong in Divi 4, there'll be no support for that. So you would need to move your websites to Divi 5. And that means you need to do this process manually, one by one. But you don't have to, because we have Crafter Pro, and this is a unified design workflow. Just now, I've just been showing you just one example, which is the audit. This is just the audit that I'm showing you. You can literally go in and do similar actions to what I'm doing here on the front end. So if you prefer to work on a page-by-page basis, you can come over here to Design Assist. Now you are working in the builder itself. So let's take a look at our headings. So we have a similar interface, but now we're working on on the front end. So for all our headings, you can see KH1 is used instead of the theme default. So I can go in and say apply all 20. Boom. And all my headings. Do you see these headings here? It's updating. Can you see it's saying applying? It is changing all of that. And I can see something happened here. There we go. So everything has updated to the headings. So all I have to do now is to go in and make sure it's mapping. I can see here it's set to clamp 2.5, whatever. So that's KH1. But if I want, I can change these sizes because now they're in my design system. But of course, when everything is set like this, perhaps you want this look, I can go to my tablet view here. And I want you to take, in fact, let's close this because it's in the way. Do you see how the size has gone smaller? Do you see that? It's because it's using a clamp system. So you can design your website this way. Let's go back to our Design Assist here and see what else we need to do. We've got our colors. And here, system color instead of, okay, we can apply that. And spacing, we have 18 spaces. So on our columns here, we have a few areas we need to fix. So you can see it's suggesting that we need to use K padding M instead of 30 pixels. So if I want to see where that has been applied, I can click here. And now it's showing me exactly where it has been applied. So now all I have to do is to take a look at this. All right. So when I come over here and as I say apply like that, you notice that my clamp values here have been added. And over here, I have my presets. Isn't that cool? And now it's looking very, very neat. So I can go through and do it this way. And again, my score here is increasing on this particular page. So if I open a separate page, it's going to have its own scale and its own fixes. And all this you get with Krafter Pro. Now, let me show you a few things that you also get with Krafter Pro. We also have what is known as Brand Studio. In fact, before we go to Brand Studio, you can export and import your design systems over here. But over here in Brand Studio, if you wanted to rebrand this particular website, you could rebrand it. So here, this is the current brand. So let's say you want to use this one here. If I click on that, I can apply this right away. So let's change our fonts to perhaps this one. And then I can see here that my contrast has already passed. So I'm going to say apply brand. Boom. So now we have a new brand applied to our website. So I'm just going to save and refresh. And you can see my color here has updated. I mean, how cool is that? Look at all these buttons here. All right, everything is updated. And my font here is updated as well. And it is a very fast way of going in and just updating your website across. Now, if there's any areas you need to go in and do some quick updates in terms of colors, you have colors now in our design system. So if I click here on the section background, I can go to the background here and choose a muted background or a subtle background like that. But that hasn't worked because I need to make sure that we don't have a color in here. So let's see. Okay, it's working. I was just testing that. So if I come in, I can say muted, or I can go in and choose a color from here. And you can see we have so many colors here. So I can choose that one, for example. And this color here is on brand. And if I want to change my buttons, I can come over here and add my own button. So you can see we have all these low firm buttons. I can use my own, but I'm going to leave that as it is. And we can do the same here on the appointment button as well. Now, when it's time to get rid of, let's say, all the presets that you don't need, you can always take a look here. You can see all these are low firm. Okay, that's fine. So if you want to clean up your system and you're ready now to deliver your website, you can come over here to deliver, and you can hand over this handoff document, which has all the information about this website that we've been building. The URL, the date. You can also add your date in here that you've completed working on it. You can have all the information you need for your clients before you hand over the website. Here, if you want to, you can export the design system as well and, save it for future purposes. Further down here, if you want to exclude certain things, you can go over here, deselect, and that will deselect anything that you don't need. So as you can see, this is a very, very good system, and it also comes with a guide. So you can go over here and watch some videos about how to use this particular tab on the handoff. There's also a video on the handoff. All these are separate videos that you can watch in order for you to learn. If you prefer to work in dark mode, you can go into dark mode over here, and you can see here it's beautifully laid out. Right, so this is the fastest way to use the default Divi starter sites, which are not production ready, and you can make them production ready using Krafter Pro. Or you can use Krafter Pro on an old website that you probably built using the Divi 4 way, which is of course not advisable because Divi now gives us new tools to make our websites look professional, and Krafter Pro makes sure you stay professional. And the other thing as well is if you're building your websites from scratch, you don't have to build design systems from scratch. Krafter Pro comes with its own design systems. So let's pretend that this is a brand new website. If you come over here to build, instead of importing your own, you can come over here and do a quick install. So you can see we have a ready-made design system for you. You can just say install design system and it will install it for you. Now, Krafter Pro also uses AI. I mean, how cool is that? If you want to use AI with this, you can come over here to connect AI, and you can use the MCP and talk to Krafter Pro. You can also come over here to AI, and if you use something like Nova Mirror, you can give it your design.md file so that everything that you design is going to be according to our design system. And we also have more downloads here. So we also have a Nova Mirror skill here. We also have a Krafter Pro AI context. We also have a knowledge graph. So all these are files that you can give your AI, and it will better know Krafter Pro and design websites that are consistent. So the question is, where do you get this Krafter Pro product? Well, you need to go to Divi University. And in fact, let me show you on the link over here. So right now, as we speak, if you head over to the link that I've provided in the video description below, we have our normal price here, and we also have this founding lifetime access. Okay, so this price is going to go to $9.97 as soon as we add all the other features. So I just need about 16 people, and this is going to move from $5.97 to $9.97. As you can see, this is so powerful that if you're a design agency or a freelancer and you're just providing a service to move websites from Divi 4 to Divi 5, you can get your money back by just doing this service on 2 websites. And you get your money back. And this is a lifetime license. But if you are someone that's using a single website or you have 2 websites, you can come over here. But this is recurring, by the way. This is a one-time payment. So over here, if you say buy Krafter Pro, you can buy a 3 license for $97 per year. You can go for the freelancer. This is $247, but it has 25 websites. And then you have the Krafter agency. This has unlimited websites, but it's $397 yearly. Okay, $397 yearly. And of course, this is the one time. And this is right now on a discount because this is a founding license. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And don't forget, when you purchase this, you also have a dedicated community where you can ask questions and, you can get, a lot of help over here. So here is the community. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. Take care.